Again, relax everything into it. Everything's slow and easy. That hit the dirt, didn't it? Right in front of the target. We're at 18 yards here. I'm going to have to step back a couple steps to get to 20, and we'll set that 20-yard pin. That's 20 yards. Okay. Or give or take. So the next thing that I want to explain to you, if you've never really shot a lot of archery, one of the things that I find helps me is always picking up the bow the same way, always setting your grip the same way. It's just habit for me now, but when I had an archery coach, hi Hooker if you're watching, he taught us this, and it made a huge difference for me. The way it works is you pick that spot on your hand and put your bow against that same spot every time. So when you pick it up, I'm going right here on the hardest part of my hand is going to be touching my bow. So right in here, I get that set to the same spot on the bow every time. This keeps my the what you'd call the rear sight or the peep in the roughly the same location all the time. It works just like a gun. You've got a rear sight and a front sight. The difference is you're holding that rear sight in different spots all the time if you're not careful with the way you draw your bow. And having that rear sight off even just a fraction of an inch is a long ways when it comes to the target or what you're shooting at. So setting that rear sight and locking that rear sight is really important, and I'm doing that by putting that hard part of my hand on the same spot. On this bow I've had a very long time. Okay, enough said about that. The other thing is the arrow. These are the same arrows I hunt with. They're the same grain tip, the same exact arrow. All arrows have different weights, different I don't know what you call it, flexibility. They can take the shock a little bit, they can change things, different fletches, different everything. Target practice with the same arrows you're going to hunt with. That way you can expect the same results. That's all that is. And my first shot, I'm going to use the way that my sight works is 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 yards. And so, okay, here we go. So let's just see how far off this thing is after sitting on the shelf for, well, a long time. Again, relax everything into it. Everything's slow and easy. That hit the dirt, didn't it? Right in front of the target. Let's do it again. Let's put another one in the dirt just to validate that that thing is way too low. Well, it hit the target somewhere, probably very, very low. So I'm going to follow the arrow. That's what you call it. So if you're going to go, I want to move this down because I'm shooting down. I want to follow that arrow down. And of course this is going to be locked tighter than, well, I shouldn't say things because
A frog's butt.
a frog's butt. We'll go with frog's butt. But probably more close to my little brother's pocketbook, but hey, we'll just go with that. I'm not saying he's tight, just saying he's tight. All right, I've got a lot of stuff in my pockets here. So I've got to loosen up my sight lock, which is great. It's got a sight lock. Keeps it from shaking around, but wow, is that ever low. And that's going to mean that probably I was using this for some very long range stuff and had set this thing. A lot of jabbering. So this is the lock on that front, and this allows me to turn it up and down, and as I turn it this way it goes down. I'm not going to lock it as hard as I had it before until I know I'm where I want to be. Okay, now our target shifted quite a bit. That side to side, we're not worried about side to side right now. What we're concerned with is up and down. So again, that 20 yards, there's 20 yards. So here again, 20 yards. Now we've moved the sight down. And again, I'm getting my grip set. So right to left, I'm going to have to walk up there and readjust the target, but you can see that the arrow has gone up with me. I'm not worried about right to left right now, I'm worried about up and down. So I'm going to walk up there, I'm going to pull my arrows back, and I'm going to recenter the target. And just so you know, this is supposed to be a 70-pound bow, but I'm not sure that it's still got 70 pounds in it. We'll see. Here we go. So I went a little beyond where I wanted for the height, but not much. Not enough to make it like, Okay, now right to left. What you do when you set these things is you follow the arrow. In other words, if the arrow's over there, you make your sight go over there. You're moving, in this case, I know it seems strange, but the front sight. So it's a little different than what you would be doing with a gun. I guess by a little different, I mean the exact opposite. Okay, that's a little different. Okay. So again, I'm going to loosen my sight lock. This is a very old sight too. I really love it. When you're an old man, you get a bunch of old stuff. So again, this thing's graduated, and that's supposedly moving it that way in my head. It'd be funny if it was going the opposite, but I don't think it was. Okay, here we go again. I keep walking around too. I mean, this is kind of horseshoes and hand grenades a little bit, but 20 yards is, relatively speaking, 20 yards here. I'm gonna ruin arrows if I don't get that thing to move better. I can't tell if it's moving. I think it's moving. If I'm going the wrong way, it's gonna eventually lock itself right off the target. That'll be great. Alright, here we go again. Alright, I think I've got it up and down. And so, or got it side to side that time. It looks like I really had to crank it. Now as far as the up and down, I'd have to recheck my distance, but I think I keep moving around. I know I keep moving around. I walk back, I mess around. Okay, there's 20 yards. So I might have walked around a little bit. Let's try it one more time, and then we'll start in on the others. If I do this right, all of my arrows, I should be able to. This bow is pretty accurate. I do like these single cam bears. I feel like they're cheating, especially at a distance. Okay, I think that's in the middle of the middle. I admit that I did a little windage on that, just the up and down, but that should be dead center cross up and down. We're gonna move ourselves out to 30 yards, and I'll set that. I'm gonna set that grip. Come up, pull it back slowly. There's no, these modern bows, there's no hurry. This isn't a rush. Still just a tad high. So I think I've proved that I'm just a tad high, and I'm going to continue to be just a tad high until I move it down, just 2 or 3 clicks. But I think move it up 2 or 3 clicks. Do what I say, not what I do. Okay. Again, I'm following that arrow. Let me lock my grip. Pull it back slowly and carefully. You don't have to jerk back, or these are very forgiving, these modern bows. I have no idea where it went, but I think I'm probably pretty close. When I say pretty close, I think pretty close to my last arrow. Let's do it again. Until I see fletches in the middle, I won't know. Yeah, what do you think, spotter?
It's right next to your first one.
So
touching it.
I think I'm gonna have to move up again. It's down. I think I'm gonna keep going until I hit my other arrow if I don't get this moved right. That should be closer up and down. I pulled a little bit, but I think we got it. All right, 40 yards. All right. There's 40 yards or close to 40 yards. I'm not 40.5, 40.2, I don't care. I'm calling it 40 yards. If it's closer to 41, I'd call it 41. Averaging. So, just proving it. gonna call that good, you guys. So 40 yards is as far as I want to go. I don't feel I can ethically kill a deer past that distance. That's me, that's my opinion. That doesn't have to be yours. You got a stronger bow and you are a better shot, you do you. But right there, that's sighted in and ready to go for the year. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Ardoff Brothers Outdoors.